So welcome back. So I just talked a lot about how labor regulations can, in some ways, be a negative thing. But there are some common labor standards established by international convention that are very beneficial. First of all, labor regulation has strived to eliminate all forced or compulsory labor. No slave labor, we're not supposed to have prison labor, all those kinds of things. That's a good thing to eliminate forced labor. It's abolished child labor. Again, when you start looking at the early history of industrialization, kids not being in school, not getting opportunities, getting injured on the workplace, it's terrible. It has worked to greatly reduce employment discrimination. That's something I think most people would agree is a positive thing. And finally, it's guaranteed the right of labor unions to exist and engage in collective bargaining. So what you see is kind of a tension with regulation versus totally doing things on the free market. You can look at worker protection goals versus competitiveness goals. What is better for the worker versus what is better for the firm? On the worker protection side, like I mentioned in my French examples, job security is great. Having strong labor unions is great. Establishing high minimum wages is a good thing. Limiting work hours. In France they have a 35-hour work week. Establishing pensions for workers, also something very positive. Making sure that workplaces are healthy and safe is a good thing, and working to eliminate discrimination. These are all great things for the workers. But it reduces the flexibility of what a corporation can and cannot do with its workforce. So if we were to the more you reduce workplace regulations or worker protection, of course, you can work to create more jobs. Okay? If you pay workers less, obviously you can employ more workers. It allows for a degree of flexibility in restructuring. If you need to restructure but you can't fire workers and you cannot give them new tasks at work, that's obviously a bad thing. It allows you to use new technology even if it means firing workers. You can get a better pulse on changing demand. Think about seasonal workers. What if you have to employ every single worker the whole year? Well, imagine you're working in construction in New England where it snows part of the year, but you still have to employ those workers as construction workers, even though you can't actually use them in construction because it's too darn cold outside. So you're not really able to adjust to changing consumer demand or seasonal demands. You can also encourage investment. Letting investors know that you have a flexible workforce can be considered a good thing. Allowing quick turnover, hiring and firing as needed. And then, of course, reducing the amount of government legislators, making sure that regulations are upheld. Those are also good things. So you have to decide flexible regulation is good for competitiveness, it's good for firms. A lack of flexibility, though, is good for workers. So you have to make a decision, which is more important, or do you look somewhere in the between? Do you want to take care of your workers, or do you want to make sure that the firm is more viable in the long run? Again, it sounds, I think of two great examples. In terms of a totally flexible workplace, think of things like Uber or Airbnb, all these things in the sharing economy that has started up. That's totally flexible, to keeping a total pace with demand in the market in real time almost now. But at the same time, those workers don't have any health insurance, they don't have any sort of protections against a bad economy. Whereas you look on the inflexible side, like I mentioned in France, where workers are totally protected, but they don't hire workers, and therefore workers wind up being unemployed. Hopefully you can find some sort of a medium ground. There's no right answer here. Great. So our next few videos, we're going to talk about equal opportunity and civil rights. Looking forward to seeing you then.